Getting this one from the rawstory.com. And this one is tough, man. This one I'm gonna show y'all in the office, photograph and then read the headline of the story here. This is a young man. It says the headline on rawstory.com is Black teen in white foster home pepper sprayed by police who mistook him for a burglar. Now, we did a story earlier in the show tonight when we talked about the black dude in the neighborhood mistaken as a burglar, and he had the white lady lawyer who came to his defense. Similar but different. Foster parents, Fuquay Varina, North Carolina high school student, are furious after neighbors mistook their son for a burglar and called police, who responded by pepper spraying him in his own home. Stacy Tyler says she had left home unlocked because she knew her foster son, Deshaun Curry, would be arriving home from school. When neighbors spotted Curry, who is black, entering the Tyler residence, they immediately called police. When they arrived, they ordered Curry to put his hands on the door. For what? He replied, "This is my house. Why are y'all here?" Officers then pointed to a photograph on the mantle of the Tyler's natural-born children, all of whom were white, at which point Curry became angry. After a brief argument, officers pepper sprayed Curry in the face. Stacy Tyler arrived home to find Curry being treated by EMS for the pepper spray and quickly cleared up the confusion with the officers, who told her that her foster son had been threatening and belligerent. Curry insisted he was merely offended by the officer's suggestion that he could not possibly be a part of the Tyler family. Quote, "I have moved into my room and now I'm feeling loved. And then when they come in and they just profile me and say that I'm not who I am and that I do not stay here because there were white kids on the wall, that really made me mad." And here's the part that I always like in stories like this. No charges were filed against him. Like, we got to, yeah, exactly. So, Tony, you're up first. What you got?
I mean, okay, so.
Joy says, "What the hell?"
I mean, you know your neighbors. What the hell? You know your neighbors, and you know your neighbors' kids. So, I mean, I would probably, if I know my neighbors and I see this child there,
but your neighbors,
but she left the door open. I mean,
why?
Well, our question was, why don't he have a key?
Yeah, where's his
why
key?
Why the foster guy don't have a key? You gotta leave the door unlocked.
He can't get a key until his picture get up on the mantle.
But no, I mean,
there really ain't no brothers up on the wall.
I guess it could be an honest mistake, but I think that the police, as they often do when there is a little brown person or kid or child involved.
So the neighbors call the police.
The neighbors call the police.
Like
there's a burglar. So, maybe it was neighborhood watch or something, and they were just looking out for their neighbor because, they'd never seen him before, which I know, like my grandparents' neighbor, like they would tell my grandparents anything, everything. Like, and we lived there, like everything that was going on. So I think that, maybe people just looking out and they never seen him.
He belongs there, the neighbors?
Maybe they didn't know.
They know. They talked about, we're adopting a little black kid.
Not necessarily.
They
could have just gotten him like the day before.
They talked about it.
You never know.
But they talked about it. They may have picked him up the day before.
You don't know, because one of my coworkers, she has 2 foster children. And I mean, it literally, it could be like today, like you're at work right now and like, yeah, we got a kid for you to pick up this evening. So, I mean, maybe they didn't have time to tell them or introduce them, to the family. But I don't know. Maybe the cops overreacted.
Brown child.
Yeah, he's brown. I mean, not surprising.
I don't know. That's why. What do you think?
Oh, okay, where I got.
Wow. We're going to let that awkward silence be all about you. Just so the listeners can know that that's all about you. That awkward silence that we're going to have again until you start talking.
I'm saying what I think, I think that the neighbors, I really believe the neighbors knew the child was there. Even if you left the door unlocked, the kid is coming. You didn't leave your door unlocked because you just picked up a child and you're just going to let him on into the house. You're going to come home with him. You're going to be there to bring him into the house. You're not just going to let him come on in. He's in a strange neighborhood by himself or what have you. No, somebody, they knew that the boy was coming home. They knew that the neighbor had the child. I think they just didn't like little brown child going in the house, and somebody just wanted to cause a scene. That's all.
Joy just called y'all both out. She said, Tony, stop tripping. Really, that's why?
What, Joy?
Because Joy thinking the same thing the rest of us thinking, but Tony, she think you tripping, Tony.
How am I tripping? I mean, I can understand. And I would honestly, if I was at my house and I saw somebody at your house who I didn't know and they're in your house, I might be concerned. I might call you first and say, hey, do you know there's somebody at your house? I probably wouldn't just call the police on somebody.
Yeah, I got you. Big Rope. What do you think about
man.
this situation?
Someone please call 911.
These are the, for other people, for people to not, how do I want to say this? There's nosy ass people in this world. I mean, really, you say somebody else and you see somebody in a house that you don't recognize.
That automatically means that they don't belong there.
I mean, that automatically means what you doing looking in the house? Ain't none of your business. I mean, do you see him stealing stuff? He's sitting on the couch. He ain't doing nothing. It'd be different if he was packing up your TV or packing up a whole bunch of stuff in a bag in your house. What robber gonna sit down on the couch and look at TV?
He
I mean,
is gonna be home till 7, so yeah.
I mean, but really, that's
show is
just
coming on.
that's just nosy ass people. And that's just regardless if the kid was black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian. You see somebody else at somebody else's house. First of all, what you doing looking at somebody else's house? Now, if you looking in there, oh, what's that? Oh, they're stealing stuff? Yeah, let me call 911. They're putting stuff in the bag. They got nothing covering up their face. Yeah, you can't see their face or nothing. Yes, call 911. You see a dude chilling on the couch looking at TV? Really?
He's like, this burglar got nerves.
Yeah, I mean, really? I'll be like, Dad. Well, I mean, ain't my business.
My show came
I mean,
on.
what if it was somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend who mom left at the crib? What if mom dating a black boy?
All right, let me.
I'm just saying.
Let me jump in here.
I'm sick of nosy people, man.
Let me
I'm
jump.
over it.
I
Nosy
got
people
some.
could save a life. Look at how many crimes have happened, and after fact, people are like, "Oh yeah, I did see a white truck in their driveway, but I didn't think of anything of it."
But did you see
Somebody
people
dead
stealing
inside
stuff?
the house.
I got mixed feelings about this, but my overwhelming impression here is I have no problem with what the neighbors did. No problem at all that the neighbors called police. None. Because if you got a white family, then you would expect there to be white people at the house. If you saw white people walking in my house, I need my neighbors to call the cops. Because don't know white people
You ain't
belong
got no
in my
white
house.
cousins.
I don't know white people belong in my house. So with that backdrop, I have no problem with what the neighbors did. Now, where you start getting into a gray area with me is the part that we will never get the full story on, and that is the conversation and what went down in the house between this boy and the police officer, because they are going to lie. That's what they do. And he's probably not going to be 100% honest about what went on either. And so that's where you start getting into a gray area. I mean, if I'm the officer and I walk into a house that I know belongs to white people and I see this black kid sitting there, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical. Now, am I going to pepper spray him? I think I might be like, all right, let me understand your story. All right, can we get somebody on the phone to verify that you belong here? There's a better way that you handle that, but I think part of the racial discussion that we like to have in this country, and particularly on this show, is we expect too often for everybody to be on this kumbaya, everything is great, we should all blend in and be one big happy family. No, that's bullshit. No, because if some white folk was in my house, knowing Marcus J the way you know Marcus J, I need you to call the cops. They don't belong there. I'm sorry, they don't.
You should see your face.
I'm just keeping it 100. That's what I do. I'm
His
keeping
face
it.
is like,
I'm,
oh,
But how
no,
do you know if
something's
they
wrong.
belong there or not?
You don't know, but you know me, and you ain't never seen them there before. So yeah, I need you to call the cops.
That is if they pay that much attention to
Do you want me to text you first or call the cops first?
They need to call the cops. I'm sorry. You need to call the cops if you know me, and you seen my house, and you ain't never seen these people in my house before. you need to call the cops. I ain't got no problem with that.
I got white cousins, y'all.
Okay, then you got white cousins, and your white cousin just got, a conversation. He didn't get pepper sprayed because he ain't black. But the point I'm making is, I don't have no issue with the neighbors because they saw something that didn't look right. They called police. It's on the police now to act appropriately. And the black kid, I understand his position. He like, yo, I'm home. What you doing? I get him.
Mm-hmm.
I get him. The officer, you should know better. You should be trained.
Mm-hmm.
Was he aggressive physically? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was pissed at you because you fussing at him in his house. I get that.
Was he bigger than a cop?
I don't think that matters. I really don't. But I don't know if he is.
But that does matter.
I don't think it matters. But I don't know that we know that. You can look at the picture. We pulled the picture. He didn't look like he was that big of a guy to me. He looked like he was a regular, average-sized guy to me in that photograph. I don't know that his size is relevant.
Do they have a picture of the cop?
They don't.
No.
They do not. But,
I mean, if you got Tiny Tim as a cop rolling in there.
Yeah, I mean, we throw in variables in there. All we can do is speculate. Let's deal with the facts that we have. The facts that we have is we've got this young man in a house where, because people like to act like there ain't differences. I think the fact that we are different from white people is kind of cool. We cool because we are us, and they cool because they are them. You know what I mean? For all of this, we got to be like them. We live in America, so everybody got to be the same. That's bullshit to me. I don't like that. That's not cool to me. We should embrace the fact that we're different. We should embrace the fact that we have colors, and we have coarseness to our hair, and we got wider noses, and we got rhythm, and we got all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We should embrace those things, and they should embrace the things that they think is cool about them. But one thing that's different is the color of our skin. And when you live in a white neighborhood and you see a black dude in the house and you never seen him before, you probably are wise to call the police. Just like in my neighborhood, if you saw a white dude walking in my front door and you did not see my car sitting there, I'm going to need you to call the cops. And if I know that you was out there and you didn't call the cops, I'm going to be feeling some kind of way about you when I see you. Again, I'm on an island by myself again, which I absolutely have no problem being. But I'm hoping that the caller that's calling in right now will help me out. Caller,
They ain't helping you.
hey, caller, I know who you are, but tell the listeners who you are on the live line, my brother. What you got, brother?
Hello, my name's Jim Bob. I just want to call in and comment on this round table full of Negroes y'all have talking.
You are not Jim Bob, but hey, if you want to play that game, go ahead, brother. What you got, man?
I just want to say I don't like the fact that I can look out my window and see a bunch of Negroes rapping and bebopping and hip-hopping. I don't like it. I remember the days that you Negroes stayed in your neighborhoods and you guys were under control. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
I just can't wait till we take things back to those days again.
well, I tell you what. Why don't you make it happen, Mr. Jim Bob? What you gonna do about it?
Man, I ain't gonna do nothing. What's good with you, brother?
Hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, look, why don't you tell the listeners what your name is? I know who you are. You done scared a few people.
Brother Lumsey, I had to call in.
What's up, Lumsey? I know you listening.
Hey,
That's my brother Lumsey, everybody.
Lumsey.
Everybody, hey, you listening,
How
man.
y'all doing?
You listening, man. Tell us seriously what you think about this, man.
I just think it's crazy, though. I mean, everybody's hitting the nail right on the head. Basically, like, he comes in, he see a black guy, or he has to be out of place. Like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the situation is or what, and I just think that he just acted irrationally, you know what I mean, and very foolishly. And I think my man's Ruby name, like, he kept asking, well, how tall was the cop? How big was the cop? That just plays into the same stuff. Oh, because he was a big black guy, he had a right to be scared, or if he was a little tiny black dude, then it'd have been okay. If it was Webster sitting on the couch, you know what I mean, then it'd have been okay. Like, I don't really get that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't care if the cop was Tiny Tim or if he was Hulk Hogan, it doesn't matter. Like,
Hey, look.
Feet dangling off the side.
when you become a cop, if you 2'2" and you decide to become a cop, you got to realize that, hey, I might run into a 6'7" joker. Then what am I going to do? And if you ain't think that out beforehand, man, that's on you.
Well, let me ask you this, Lumsey, because I made the analogy a minute ago that if and I'm Marcus J., if I had a white dude walk into my house while I'm not there, I would expect my neighbors to call the police. Do you think that I'm tripping off of that, or do you?
No, not at all. I can give you one better. I was homesick 2 weeks ago with the flu, and I looked in my backyard, and you've been in my house, so you know what it is.
Yeah.
I looked in my backyard, and I see this white guy just happily walking through my backyard. And I went outside. Of course, I was armed. Like, yo, man. I mean, I didn't pull it on him or whatever, but I was armed. What are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm looking for my dog. Oh, okay, cool. Just do me a favor. Next time, ring my doorbell and warn me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, you know, everybody knows that's where you live, dude. I mean, it's like, so it would be kind of weird. Like, if I was your neighbor and I saw some white dude in your house, I wouldn't think to go shoot at him or to call the cops on him. You know what I mean? I'd be looking like, I'm going to investigate this because this look kind of weird.
Right.
And if I know you and I got your number, then I'm going to call you like, yo, man, you know some white dude at your house? Oh, yeah, he's doing cable or what have you, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that could be a good way to look at it. He could actually have a good reason.
For being there, I'm going to find out first before I flip out. That way when I get ready to flip out, I know I got, you know what I mean?
Just cause.
All my ducks in the row, and I'm going to go hard. But you don't want to go half-cocked. You know what I'm saying? You flip out and you half-ass, and then you looking stupid because you done made all this fuss and you done acted the fool. And he's supposed to be there. You know what I mean?
You know, that's the situation that we have at hand with this young brother. And you know, I guess I'm on an island alone here because I really, and you're kind of agreeing with me. I just have no problem with the police being called here. I have no problem. Where I have a problem, Lumsey, is the police's behavior once they got there.
You ask questions to find out what's going on. I'm in agreement with you, too, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask questions. You don't know. The same as when I seen this white dude in my yard. I ain't just go, oh, it's okay. It's a white guy in my yard. Nah, hell no. What are you doing? Who are you? What do you want?
Yeah.
You know, once he said, I'm looking for my dog, then it was like, oh, okay. And I just say, hey, man, just want me. He never saw my gun. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't even that serious. I just need to know what's going on. Once I find out what's going on, then it's like, oh, okay, I can retreat. Now, if he wanted to talk crazy and it had been something different, then it could have escalated. So I agree with you 100%. Once the police get there, they got to ask questions. Police are supposed to investigate situations. How the hell are you going to find something out if you don't ask no questions?
Yeah,
you
but
just can't start assuming.
But when they asking those questions, you know, I think a lot of times when we as black males in particular don't like the line of questioning, and we sometimes show it in our face or in our rhetoric, you know, it immediately turns into from a discussion to a physical act. Whereas, you know, other communities might be able to have a discussion for longer than we would. You know, this young fella, you know, and nowhere in that article does it talk about how this young guy was aggressive physically towards the article. It just talked about how he didn't like the questioning, and next thing you know, he's getting pepper sprayed. You know what I mean?
Right, and
you know, is that white dude in your yard? Is that white dude in your yard getting pepper sprayed?
Nah, he didn't get pepper sprayed.
He
would have got sprayed, but it wasn't going to be pepper. No. But honestly, but I feel you though. But you know, it doesn't matter if that young man just became belligerent and started yelling and screaming. He was in his home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the police are professionals, so they should be trained to deal with that. But let's just be real about it. Black men, we're target practice for them. So when they see one of us, they waiting. They just hoping that it go down, so they can have a reason to jump on us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Question.
That's what they want to do. And I before you get to this question, I want to say this. Dave Chappelle said it. He made a joke, but it's true. He was saying how the difference between how black people act when we get pulled over by the police, and how a white dude act. A white dude can cuss the police out and go back and forth. Many of us have witnessed it. They could be drunk, high, out their mind, going off on the police. The police are just cool, calm, and collective with them. Okay, sir. But then white people are sitting there screaming, I know my rights, and I pay my taxes, and you can't do this to me. And they sit down with their hands on their belt just as cool. We look the wrong way, or we, you know what I mean? We get too emotional. We move around a little bit too much. And what are you doing, Negro? Pow! You know what I mean? And we laid out. I thought he had a gun. I mean, it is what it is.
It's real. It is real talk. Hey, look, and then they'll say you handcuffed in the back of the squad car, but you somehow killed yourself.
Right, you got his gun and you murdered yourself.
Yeah, you killed yourself. And like, hey, listen, I mean, you know, I know for a fact. I know this for a fact, Lumsey, and Ruben's going to get his question in. So I'm going to just say this. I'm going to let Ruben ask question. I know for a fact there's some white folks listening to us right now. We ain't making fun of y'all. We just keeping it 100. If you listening to us, you listening to us because you want to know what we think, or else you wouldn't be listening. This is what we think.
White people, I'm not making fun of y'all. I just want y'all to know. White people, I'm not making fun of y'all. What I'm doing is I'm having fun telling the truth about y'all.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
There
and
you
I'm,
go.
you know, but this is how we feel. You are listening to this show because you want to keep it 100. You ain't got to tell me you listening. It's cool. I know you there though, but you ain't got to tell me. It's cool because when the lights come on, I see where the lights are on at. Big Rube, you got a question for my brother Lumsey?
I had a question about, did he open it, like, did they break the door down, or he just opened the door? What happened with that?
Well, the door was unlocked in the article. It doesn't allude to how the police made their entrance. It does say that when he came home, the foster mom left the door unlocked for him. The article does not allude to how the police officers made entry. It just says that they made entry and then they questioned the young brother. That's what it said. All right, listen, we're gonna take our final break of the night. Lumsey, thank you for calling, brother. I've been trying to get you to call in for a while, and you finally got it done and made it happen. We appreciate
Lumsey,
it,
call
brother.
us back Monday.
Call us every Monday, man. You welcome here. We're gonna get you in the studio one day and get some of that Lumsey
right.
love up in here. We
Be
appreciate
careful
it.
what you ask for.
Yeah, we gonna be careful what we ask. My brother, we'll talk to you soon, man. Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J. I got Big Rube, I got SY, and I got Miss Tony in studio with us. Marcus J. Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J. Taking our final break of the night. We'll come back with our rant and closings. Be back in a few minutes.
'Cause where they get fresh.